good day. The 6th anniversary event is live and running. That event brought us unique bosses that can only be fought during the short period of time. Soon, we will not be able to encounter these statues for another year. So I had to boss rush all of them to present them and make my own PvE list from all of the encounters. Currently we have 1 solo statue, 11 group and raid statues. Group and raid versions share the same skills, although raid versions simply have an extra health and damage. Before we get to the list, I wanna quickly run through all of the drop rates. These are cakes, banners, horse skins and cannon. The solo statues have the next base drop values. Group versions offer these. And for the raid, here what we got. Keep in mind, this is the base loot chance and it still can be increased by zone multiplier and premium. For example, the base chance for chroma cannon from solo statue is 0.00575%, but in black zone with premium, the chances increased by almost 4 times and will be 0.02%. Now, since we know everything about the event, let's get started with the bosses. Our first statue in the list is happened to be one-handed hammer tank with Judicator boots. The fight is pretty fun, but rather unsafe, since the boss may and will use inertia ring, which may stop you from disengaging or put you in awkward position. The next statue is Redemption Staff user, but for some reason the statue also has an assassin shoes, which it uses fairly well. The E is also present, but unlike regular Redemption Staff, this one can also hit enemy and do damage to them. In general, all of the abilities boss has makes it for a rather fun fight. The Frost statue is rather simple. At the same time, it's boring. It has abilities that copy the spells of Permafrost. Since there are no specific AI, it simply spawns the abilities once they off cooldown. The Scythe boss is pretty interesting. It uses 2 different axe queues and also the E of the weapon itself. Time to time, the statue also applies dynamic defense. If one is not familiar with weapon's E, it may look like a bug that ability does damage twice, and visuals don't really represent it well. This boss is probably the most fun, but at the same time, is the most annoying one. The statue uses the fishing rod and has Fisherman Set's abilities mixed with Judicator Set abilities. It should probably be fine for the most part until you get hit by Fisherman's knockback, which may reset the boss. Otherwise, I really enjoyed the rest of the kit. The 11th statue uses the Hallow Fall and Mage Robe's Purge Shield. However, unlike 5th boss, it doesn't seem as enjoyable. This is Groove Keeper paired with Guardian armor, but don't expect much, simply it just spams the abilities once they off cooldown and hits the armor ability once it reaches 50% threshold. But the next one is probably the same thing. Just like 12th statue, this one uses Groove Keeper and abilities are mostly the same, except this one has a Judicator armor instead of Guardian. Other than that, not much to say. The Bloodletter. Believe it or not, this statue almost functions the way it's supposed to, based on certain abilities it has. Except one little thing. The Execute works the opposite way. The more HP you have, the more damage you will take. Other than that, it hits life block and attempts to lifesteal on low HP. This statue is rather annoying with all the crowd control it has. Not only that, but it also has a Judicator armor that prolongs its life even further. This Gallatin statue utilizes the Mercenary set. It has quite the interesting mechanic that being utilized under specific conditions. Quite similar to Ancient Hero or any sword, every successful cleave it gains a stack. If statue manages to get 3 of them, it will use the Soulless Stream. Also, when statue gets low, it will attempt to use Bloodlust. In my opinion, the worst encounter is the Frost statue. It has pretty thick abilities and no strategy involved. As for the best, I think the Fisherman is the one. It has rather tricky and some fun moves, with a pinch of annoying one. In my opinion, the current event is the best from all Albion offered so far. It gives a chance for all types of players to participate in it which increases the liveliness of open world. Hopefully, Albion developers notice such population increase in there and add or change something to keep it live and healthy. Thanks for watching.